Hello, everyone. This is Kaizen Base. Today we will learn about methods for improvement consideration 5 movement routes, Osborn's checklist.
Let's continue to check the well-known perspectives as the methods for improvement consideration.
So, let's get started with the lecture.
Well, Mio, this time we will continue to learn about the methods for improvement consideration.
The key points of this time is 5 movement routes and Osborn's checklist, isn't it?
Yes, now let's check the 5 movement routes. Movement route refers to the trajectory and route that people and things follow when they move. Human movement route has 5 types. Do you know what they are?
Movement route, the movement route when walking?
Yes, the first thing that comes to mind is the movement route when walking. Foot movement route refers to walking, carrying, paddling, treading, climbing, descending, moving and repeating. Can you think of anything else?
If there is foot, there should have hand.
That's right. The second is hand movement route. Hand movement route refers to taking, putting, washing, wiping, hitting, aligning, adjusting, setting aside, opening and shutting. Do you know anything else?
Foot, hand, waist, isn't it?
You've got it. The third is waist movement route. Waist movement route refers to turning around, crouching, squatting, standing and sitting and stretching. The movement route of the foot, hand and waist we have learned so far are relatively easy to imagine. There are another 2 movement routes. The first is eye movement route.
So eyes also have movement route then?
Eye movement route includes examining, confirming, searching, inspecting, recording, inputting and operating. Searching for things with eyes wandering around is one of the movement routes that should be improved.
I see.
The other is movement route of thought.
Does thought as slow have movement route?
Yes, it does. Movement route of thought refers to hesitating, considering, searching and judging. When doing any work, you can't do it without hesitation, or you need to make a judgment every time, which is the same as forming a long movement route in your head.
I see.
The characteristics of the methods for improvement consideration based on the 5 movement routes is considering whether there is waste from the perspective of not only the movement routes of foot, hand and waist, but also the movement routes of eyes and thought.
It is relatively easy to find visible wastes in the movement routes of hand, foot and waist, but actually there are a lot of invisible waste hidden in the movement routes of eyes and thought. I will keep in mind the 5 movement routes.
Now let's take a look at the Osborn's checklist. Osborn's checklist is the method of improvement consideration to generate ideas from 9 perspectives. It is created by Alex Osborn. The 9 perspectives are 1 diversion, 2 application, 3 change, 4 expansion, 5 reduction, 6 substitution, 7 rearrangement, 8 reversal, 9 combination. Osborn's checklist is a method of racking your brains when you can't figure out an idea. Although it is said to be a somewhat forcible method, it sometimes brings unexpected ideas and can achieve a leap in thinking.
Please tell me the details of the 9 perspectives.
Sure, I will. The first is diversion. Diversion is based on the perspective of whether there is any other use to come up with ideas. For example, ideas are come up with from the questions like will there be any new uses if improvement and reform are made, will there be any new uses as it is, and can it be used on that production line instead of being thrown away. A typical example of diversion is microwave oven. The microwave oven was born from accidental discovery while researching military radar as a different use of it. The second is application. Application is based on the perspective of whether it can be applied and ideas are come up with from the questions like is there anything else similar to this, is there anything similar in the past, is there anything can be used to imitate, can the same mechanism as this jig be used there, and can this method used for that work as well. The third is change. Change is based on the perspective of what will happen if it changes and ideas are come up with from the questions like is it possible to change the meaning, color, movement, sound, smell, style and pattern, can it be easier to understand if the display method is changed, can it be noticed immediately if the sound is used, and can it be made on the production line. The fourth is expansion. Expansion is based on the perspective of what will happen if it is expanded, and ideas are come up with from the questions like, how about adding something, how about taking your time, how about making it longer, how about increasing the number of times, how about adding other values, and how about making it stronger. The fifth is reduction. Reduction is based on the perspective of what will happen if it is reduced, and ideas are come up with from the questions like, how about dividing the lot, how about compressing the process, how about making it thinner, how about making it lighter, how about removing the work, and how about making it lower or shorter. The sixth is substitution. Substitution is based on the perspective of what will happen if substitution is used, and ideas are come up with from the questions like, is it possible to use other materials, is it possible to change to other parts, how about doing it in another process instead, how about using other power, and how about using another work method. The seventh is rearrangement. Rearrangement is based on the perspective of what will happen if it is rearranged, and ideas are come up with from the questions like, what will happen if the elements is replaced, is it possible to make other arrangements, pattern, layout, order, and how about replacing the cause and effect. The typical example of rearrangement is a product in which the flour, the bread element, is replaced with rice. The eighth is reversal. Reversal is based on the perspective of what will happen if it is reversed, and ideas are come up with from the questions like, how about doing the opposite, how about reversing the roles, how about reversing the order, how about turning it over, and how about turning it upside down. The ninth is combination. Combination is based on the perspective of what will happen if they are combined. The ideas are come up with from the questions like, how about combining the work, how about combining the pre and post processes, how about working at the same timing, and how about combining the ideas of two people. The above is the methods for improvement consideration based on Osborn's checklist. Do you now have a general understanding?
Yes, I suppose it is also effective to forcibly come up with an idea with Osborn's checklist when having trouble coming up with an idea.
Yes. We often get stuck when considering improvement plans. In that case, it should be a good stimulus to try using such a way to come up with idea. Next time, we will learn about the brainstorming, which is also a technique created by Alex Osborn. Together we will check KJ method.
Now, we make a summary of today's lecture. 5 movement routes refer to foot movement route, hand movement route, waist movement route, eye movement route, and movement route of thought. The characteristic is to consider whether there is waist from the perspective of not only the easy-to-see movement routes of foot, hand and waist, but also the movement routes of eyes and thought. Osborn's checklist is the method of improvement consideration to generate ideas from 9 perspectives. 9 perspectives refers to 1 diversion, 2 application, 3 change, 4 expansion, 5 reduction, 6 substitution, 7 rearrangement, 8 reversal, and 9 combination. If you had trouble coming up with an idea, it is also an effective way to use Osborn's checklist to forcibly come up with an idea. That's all about today's lecture. So, see you at the next theme.